I'm going to start with the DXY. We anticipated bearishness off of this key level here, which I traded into last week. What is this level? It is a BPR at this point. Why? Was a reclaim block here. When it came down, it hit this way. See this SIBI? That was immediately rebalanced, redeliver displacement. That's a balanced price range after down, up, down. Pulls up into it last week, Thursday, Friday, sync, creates the bearish order block. This is like a classic sell day off an order block. They literally just come to the meeting point right here. Just sell off, run previous week's low. Down into this area. So that in itself, BPR has held up. Just gonna put BPR here. Great. We like that. Gonna step into the weekly time frame so you can see the support level that it came into. Perfect, right? Order block, consequent encroachment of fair value gap. Very, very good. Next stop, sell side liquidity. Bearish dollar. Simple as that. So they're coming into this go to the daily, and you can see you have this lining up with kind of this order block over here, right? So I don't really feel the need to mark this order block here, but I will just for the sake of having the marking here. So this is a higher time frame level. There's there's multiple things going on there. Ultimately, this here should not be ran back into without failing to trade lower. Right. So if it comes back into this, this is like your typical support turn resistance here. Okay. So if we do get a bounce here and a pullback, we're selling that down. We're expecting down movement. Easy. Okay. Not going to make it more complicated than that. Any questions? Next. Euro USD. All right, so y'all see that Euro USD is pretty much or if you're a futures trader, 6E is literally a mirror to the DXY. So if we're getting bearish on DXY, you know that we're likely just what? Gonna get bullish. So last week, you see how they traded down here into this propulsion block, order block on top of an order block. And they came and ran the lows again, gave a external liquidity run on previous day low here, and then shot up. This created a bullish order block. Immediate change in state of delivery, failure to trade lower, right? So we found support. I also wanted to use the fact that this entire area here was my support zone last week. You can see no bodies. Reclaim block turned into BPR. So it is a BPR as well. What are they reaching for? High side liquidity, right? All we want to see them hit. Pretty great. They have to break this array, which they did. Once they hit this, it'd be great. So this is support. right here. This recent high broken, payback, run it. If they run this high, you know that that's the objective, the buy model. So they're likely to return internal. So don't trade the internal retracement without understanding that they can turn all the way back and come into this order block. So ultimately, higher prices for euro. And later on, we'll see return to this order block and fair value gap, targeting these equal highs. But we have to deal with this first before we deal with that. Any questions on euro USD? Okay. 6B or GBP USD. Again, so this one was a little bit different, right? Because it was in a bearish market profile. Like it was literally trading bearish. So when we see that kind of thing happening, and what do I mean by this trading bearish? It broke structure here and it made lower lows. So there was only one place that I was comfortable buying it from. I don't know if any of you were here last week when I talked about it, but long story short, I didn't expect this gap right here to be broken. Because this is, again, a BPR. A lot of BPR talk today, huh? Look at how they formed an order block inside of there. I want to see them stab directly into these levels and then offer me the confirmation of the retest here. Will they sink and respect this bearish order flow and then run these lows? This would be the target if they fail to run higher. It'd be these lows here, right? Or will they respond here? So here's option A. They come here, they fail to trade higher, and then we get a power of 3 bearish week running these lows. Option B is they run in here and further displace high, right? Like that would be more ideal and run these highs. I'm going to go to the weekly chart for a second so you can see a level that's really important to pound dollar. All right, so there's an order block here and a fair value gap that lines up with this order block and this high of the BPR. I like that. But since there's a gap here, right, they came to the gap, they didn't fill that. So I'm just going to use the BPR high, and I'm going to take 50% of that range, eyeball it. If you don't like to eyeball stuff, you can use a tool like this. But usually I'm pretty close to it most of the time. And now we have our range. This is what we're expecting the pound dollar to reach into. Go to the daily. See how that lines up with the order block and the fair value gap. And we want to see them stab into these levels. Okay. They stab into these levels, that would be a really good indication of what price is going to do once we get there. All right. So there's a reversal in play. Clearly, this is a reversal in play. So you have to understand that the structure on pound dollar is in a much more bearish state. Yes, it's bullish right now, and it's breaking structure, and its overall trend has been bullish for the last 6 months, but nonetheless, the market structure is break, 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 reaction. We must see what they do here. Take the candles away. This is what we're seeing right now. So from here, it can go down, or it can go up, right? So this is a short-term bias as to the SIBI. And when we get to the SIBI, we will see a time of day what they do. If I had to put my money on it, I'm expecting bullishness because the dollar, the DXY is bearish. So G is going to be doing some big buying to catch up to EU and the XE. So as of now, bullish bias. We have everything we need to see being bullish. Just know that when we get into these levels, let's say you're looking at a 15-minute chart, you know, you're likely to see like a displacement like this sort, this swing here. It's almost like a perfect, you know what I mean? Get 3 of these deviations of that reaction from the BBR. I'd be interested to see if we get maybe some sort of reaction here. So, right, in this range, it'll create a new premium and discount. So that we get into this range, if they do something like this and then run a stop, they can get into the premium and give us a full-on market maker sell model. This is the kind of thing that happens in gaps, right? If bullish, 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 get into the premium of the new range that they're anticipating. Then they give you a full market maker sell model. That can happen. It can also fail right here to trade lower, right? And then give you the higher. So just, understand market structure and you should be okay. I gave you my bias, bullish. I'm bullish to the objective. Once you get to the objective, stop trading. You don't need to trade everything. And that covers Forex, right? Go to gold monthly. Gold has been on the biggest comeback since 2020. So maybe since 2019 going into 2020. I haven't seen it like this in years. Yeah, since like 2019. This is a beautiful rally. We're getting to these monthly levels, right? Rejection block is here. Right, like literally where this order block is. So I want to see it stab into this level. That's what these levels are, just so you know. And then I don't know if it's because we're in a recession or not. I don't care about any political or news driven. I just read market structure and I just use smart money concepts. I mean, I'm not going to say they do or don't do anything. I just don't know. Recession or not, I don't put my energy into any of that stuff because it doesn't make me a better trader. It doesn't give me an edge. Some people would argue it does. Me personally, it doesn't do anything for me. I just know that this is where it's going. Weekly, not much information besides just these big down candles, right? And buy side. We tapped into it today. So this was great today. Looking on the daily. So you see these ascending highs here in the bearish order block. We slammed it and look at the reaction. Does this mean it's bearish? So you should be thinking, oh, wow, this is the top and now we're going down? No. There's no indication of that. And every time that happens, gold just does this, goes up in a sloppy fashion. So it's bullish, only looking for buys. At this point, you want to see today make a fair value gap. Okay, so that's what you want to see form is a fair value gap. You want this low to stay intact. And you want them to bounce into here and trade up. That's what you want to see. I've been waiting for this to get into there. This is their propulsion block, right? And they ran stops. So this automatically, as opposed to ES, which was more like this, right? And then kind of stalled at the propulsion block. And then displace today. Like, why? NQ was just like, okay, we've accumulated below this low. So I would mark this low. We've been accumulating below the low. So last week they ended this right here, bullish order block one. So where do you think they're going? They're going up. Like they're ready to break the consolidation. You have a swing low. This is a swing low. I get it. This candle right here, just you would say this is technically your swing low. This wick here is a turtle soup long. It's a run on external liquidity and then a pushback up. This to me is the principal swing. Listen to your mentor. If I'm not your mentor, and if you want to call this a swing low, fine. I've seen this enough times to know that this is the swing low. Follow the bodies, swing low. Okay, and I'm sorry if it seems to be changing case by case, but it's kind of like what it is. We want to get into this, right? We want to get into this. This is what we're waiting for. Inside of there, we're gonna know what's up with our overall order flow. I believe we'll get into that. It's pretty simple. Like we're gonna get into this, and when we get into there, we just wait for 5-minute market structure shift and determine if we're gonna trade higher or not. Here's the thing that happens in these kinds of markets, though, that people don't like is that you start the week off in a premium. How do you trade a market that starts off the week in a premium? That's always a question that people have. Like, I want it down here. I have to get it here. Well, if they give you your first definitive range, displaces out of that range, you follow the range, right? So this is the first range. And then midnight comes, they give you a high and a low, and then they displace above it. So it's just like they're not going back down, plain and simple. And then this is 9 o'clock. Look at it on the 5-minute chart. Here's midnight, right? There's midnight. Where's your definitive range? Where's the first displacement? See any displacement here after midnight? Okay, I guess no one's gonna talk. That's fine. I don't care.
No, it's no displacement. Right after midnight.
Do we have any displacement here? Did you see any displacement here?
Mm-mm.
I see a lot of
Lower.
Lower.
Oh, this is here we go. Major displacement. Finally.
The rest was just low probability kind of. It wasn't true displacement.
It was just trickling down.
Yeah.
Right. It was just trickling down. So like, I'm looking for definitive range, real displacement, not this internal all within this swing here. This happens, right? When they came back to this gap, the moment that this gap was filled right here, that is when the market structure gives you the confirmed change of state of delivery. Yes, we know the change of state of delivery is down here. But when they run this as a break of structure and a filling of a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, delivered, like redelivered here, right? Rebalanced, and then a displacement. Here's your support level right here. Here's your BPR. Here's your support level. The moment that they come back in here at 7 in the morning, I keep telling y'all 7 in the morning. This is not bearish. This is not bearish. The narrative is intraday bullish. You have a bullish order block. You know that they're not coming down to here. This is a bearish fucking day. So they displace 8:30. They pull back where? Institutional order flow entry drill, bullish order block. And then they displace again. 9 o'clock in the morning. Look at this. Up and down, up. Isn't this on a lower time frame technically going to give you some sort of redelivered rebalance on this? They played with your feelings up and down right here. Nonetheless, did they tap the order blocks? Yes. Did they deliver to the upside? Yes. Did they stay in line with the order flow? Yes. Or the narrative, not the order flow. The order flow is to be determined, right? All I'm going to say is like, look, BPRs. Where are the BPRs for me? These are 5-minute ones. Imagine Imagine just using 1 hour levels. Order block. Like imagine you just didn't concern yourself with the higher time frame and then the lower time frame. And you just said, hey, this is my order block. This is my main threshold. Once they break this, this is now my what? Mitigation block. What if you just made it that simple? 4 hour chart. Gets above this high. What is this? This is all a mitigation block, isn't it? So the high, open the high of the mitigation block in here. Isn't this how retail sees support and resistance? After running stops here? Well, they don't talk about that. But, and isn't this a sell side imbalance that was now redelivered and filled to the max? It's bullish. Market structure shift, break, break. Next break here. They're coming up. They're coming up. They're coming up strong. So all in all, with everything you've said, from the daily and up, it's bullish. YM. Okay. This one's in a different place, right? Because it's already at its gap. And it's been consolidating much, much heavier than NQ or ES. However, when you get off the lower time frames, you can clearly see that their propulsion block, right? Was only ran here, and then they've just been consolidating in it for the mean threshold, right? Order block tried to form here, failed, consolidate. Order block tried to form here, failed, consolidate. Order block tried to form here, boom, got it. Ran up, closed the gap to there. So with the YM, here's the deal. They had a much bigger bull run. They went crazy. I don't even have the data to show you, but they went crazy bullish. So it's going to take them a little bit more accumulation to go higher. But all in all, let's just keep it simple, fam. As long as we stay above inside this box and hold support, we should be trading higher. If we fail to trade higher in this box and break this box, then we will tank and take out all of these lows. Okay? If they get out of this box and then they touch this and just run right through it, it's gone though. I'm holding my bullish bias. Okay, I don't want to be dealing with that. I already gave you the weekly outlook on the and the ES. Okay, like we're bullish. You got my PDF on that. Like I'll just pull up the PDF so you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got it printed out as well, so I'm looking at it.
All right, cool. So this is, I basically just said in all of this, the order flow is bearish. When we get into SIBI, I'm anticipating a measured swing to form, right? I want to see it break down ultimately, right? If we're going to be staying in line with the structure. But because the NQ is so bullish, right? And the YM has already filled its gap, we really need to wait till tomorrow. And we have CPI news and red folders and shit this week. So, you know, you have to pick a side. You're going to trade the narrative or you're going to trade the order flow. Macro is bullish. Order flow bearish. We fill this gap and break the gap where order flow is bullish. It's like, what do you want to be? A buyer or a seller? Or are you indifferent and you're just going to wait for that market structure shift? I favor the downside, right? Because of just what I see overall. But hey, I'm not gonna hold myself to that. If I see that the intraday narrative is bullish and they don't give me my setup and they give me a market structure shift to the upside like they did today, then I'll take the reaccumulation long. And that's what I said here. The end. Just wait till we get into here. And when we get into there, then do that. Today, they didn't buy. So here, let me pull this one, right? Buying in a premium was the question. Yes. This order block puts us in a premium. They didn't even come down to this. They didn't even come down to this. They just opened up and displaced higher. Like they said, no, we're not even gonna waste our time down there. We're gonna just go open up and gap. And then that was it. They just got into the mean threshold. From here, fam, we need to see what they do. Do they break 4,000 key level and trade higher, or do they fail here? If they fail here, you know that we're coming down here. Simple as that. So keep your eyes open. There's one last thing I need to do analysis on. Hey, what's up, Janos? Welcome. T-bond. Because the T-bond, I'm bullish on this. It's just, it was bearish, right? It broke structure, but like it held and it was looking like the indices. And when the indices and the T-bond are moving the same direction, I'm like, nah, one has to be right at some point. So to me, right, when they got to this level here, and then they failed to break this, I was like, huh, interesting. They're pushing up. So I'm very curious to see on the weekly time frame. You see how they came down to this? Cool. That's great. If this week closes bullish, can we hold support? Or will we just tank up? I think this is going up. I favor buy side delivery on this. Right? Buy side delivery. And I'm expecting this to be a strong BPI. Right? To me, pushing higher would be great. Going to the 1 hour chart and throwing the weekly start on there. Look at what they did. It's like the inflation is just insane. Pushing right up into these gaps. So the next stop for them would be, you see this last displacement here. I would like to see them stab up into this level here as a resistance, right? We'll see though. We'll see. They come down to here. Check this out. This is how delicate this is. Let's say they run this low tomorrow. This would give us a huge, what? Probably a big buy on the indices, right? But they've been moving in sync. Oh, like this is going up, S&P is going up. So I'm curious to see if this comes down here, whether it goes up at the order block or not, right? I would be curious, do they go up first and then tap this, or do they do this? Come here and then do one of those. You know what I mean? If they go up first, this could trigger that bearishness at the SIBI that we're trading on the ES right now. And that alone could be enough to offer selling opportunity from the SIBI. Either way, I'm not going to speculate too much. I'm bullish T-bond. I'm expecting 131 tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. If they run these lows, I'm expecting this support level to hold. But ideally, they even do come down here, they should hold support, right? Only time will tell. But that's it, man.